Good afternoon, welcome back to the Mini Performance Workshops. Today we're working on Sheldon Cooper and everybody's laughing at me from the side. I'll point the camera in your direction.
I'll just swear.
Yeah, you'll just swear. Plan today is to do oil change. We're going to look at the brakes. We're going to look at the rocker cover gasket because that's leaking. What else was on the list? You said something about lights, Karen. You said something about lights as well.
Yes, I've got a relay because my brake lights sometimes work but sometimes don't.
So intermittent rear brake lights to look at as well. If you don't know who Sheldon Cooper is, there's a link below to the previous video where we did the first start with it shooting out the flames out the back of it. So Karen's going to be doing the spannering, I'm supervising from a distance, and yeah, let's just crack on. Right, so the first thing we're doing is taking off the grill to give us access to the oil filter, nice and easy, and then we'll be draining the oil. For that, we're using 24mm spanner to do the sump plug, and then a catch can down there you can see on the floor. It's probably some sort of imperial size, but I don't know what it is, but 24mm fits perfect. So we're going to do that first anyway. Right, so get the catch tank, shove it underneath. You should go right, and then undo the sump plug with your hand carefully. And once it's nearly all the way out, just go nice and slow and let the oil.
How long is it?
It's about 1 inch.
And then it's trickling.
That's it, and then just slowly pull it away and tilt it up the way.
Tilt what, that way?
Yeah.
You okay to come out now?
Yeah, just pull it away slowly.
Oh.
As long as it's going into the catch can, you're alright.
It is. It's not cold, is it?
No. Right, sump plugs out, and if it'll focus, you can see the debris on it. There's a bit like, but what can you do? It's not that bad. Right, our next job is to take off the oil filter. To do that, we're going to use one of these oil filter removal tools and a big bar because I haven't got anything smaller, so that might make it a bit awkward, but that'll be for Karen. Okay.
Just pull it towards me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's dead easy.
And at some point you'll be able to just undo it by hand. Maybe not yet.
No,
You have to
I'm a
go a
bit
bit more
weak.
loose yet.
Oh, I like this too. No, I'm still too weak. I should now, you would think. Oh yeah, that's easier, I think.
See if you can do it by hand. And be aware that it'll be full of oil.
Right, have we got anything to catch
There's
it?
a bit of blue, there's a bit of cardboard underneath.
Are you sure?
Get some blue paper as well on the job if you want. Oh,
Got it?
yeah. Just try and keep it level as you drop it down.
Oh, it's sticky. Right.
Right, I don't. So let it drain for a second and then we'll chuck it in the bin. Right, so now just wipe around the oil filter housing itself and just make sure it's nice and clean, because obviously you're going to put a new oil filter back on there. Yep, so okie dokie even. Today's oil of choice is Valvoline VR1 it says.
Yeah.
20W50, I think this is one of the good ones because it's got quite a high zinc content. So what we're going to do next is we're going to fill the oil filter at least 3/4 of the way with some oil and then put the oil filter on. When we put the oil filter on, we need to just slightly moisten the rubber ring with some oil.
Right. Famous last words. Is it okay to go on that bit?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, because it goes on there naturally anyway.
Yeah. Still going down? That's
So
it.
yeah, as I said, you fill it up and then it'll settle back down again. So just pour a bit weight sort of thing. It'll take a good amount. It'll probably take what? Oh, a quarter of a litre maybe? I'm not really sure how much it takes.
Quite a lot.
We'll just keep going, yeah, until it's... That's it, it just needs to be wet so that the rubber doesn't grab as you're tightening it basically.
And then back on.
And then, yeah, and back onto the filter head.
Oh, it'll be easier that way.
That's why you don't fill it totally full,
Because it
so you don't spill it.
Is there any, will I feel if there's any particular way that that'll go on, or is it just...
Yeah, you'll just be able to turn it opposite way so you took it off, so back towards me to screw it on. So, righty-tighty.
Lefty-loosey. Am I level?
Yeah, you'll be able to tell when it goes on. There you go, that's on. You can tell now. It'll just spin, and then you do it up so it's in contact with the top, and then you just do it another like half a turn or something so it's tight. You don't got that super tight, but you just got tight.
Right, so I think, well, my tight to your tight is probably different.
Yeah, let me just check.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, that'll do.
On.
And then when we start it up afterwards, you check to make sure it's not leaking. So it's important. And then you can always just tighten it a little bit more, but
right.
You don't over tighten it.
It won't. It's not moving.
And finally it came off.
Yeah.
But that gasket must have had a good seal.
You done it.
Ah, but you've resealed it, haven't you?
No, I didn't reseal it. This is what you put on.
Alright. Okay, the rocker cover gasket's off, it's in the bin, and the next job will be to go around the maintenance surface on the head and clean up all the silicone sealant that we got up on there. So off you go, clean it all up, and then just chuck it in the bin. And then we'll get that nice and clean and dry before we put the new one on. Right, so the cylinder head is all nicely cleaned off with the remains of the silicone that was all the way around where the rocker cover gasket was. Next job, we're going to put the new gasket on. We're going to use a bit of the sealant which is the same sealant I used on Austin when I was doing the half moon seal. Seems to be nice sticky stuff, it's heat resistant, so I'm going to run a thread of it around both sides of the gasket, put it on the gasket first, and then turn the gasket over onto the rocker.
So do I twist as I'm moving?
Twist as you're doing it, that's it.
Ooh. Is there enough on there?
I'll have a look in a second. In theory, the actual cork gasket should do the sealing by itself. I've never understood how that works, but
yeah,
I did read somewhere that the cork gasket absorbs the oil and then it stops the oil from coming through it after that, but I don't know how that works. There's millions of theories about the best way to seal these. Like I said, one of the theories is that you just put silicone between the rocker cover and the gasket and then grease between the gasket and the cylinder head, and that way it doesn't stick, so it's easy to remove it, which does make sense. But then again, you don't really need to be taking your rocker cover gasket off that, or your rocker cover off that often. So you're only going to be doing it when you're like resetting the tappet or something like that.
It's not that easy really, is it?
No.
Oh, it's proper.
But it's easier with that tube because you've got the thing that you turn,
twisty thing,
as opposed to one that you just squeezing like toothpaste. It's probably worse if you put too much on.
Yeah, because it seeps out.
Because then it'll just squish out everywhere and make an unholy mess.
Do we need
no, just put that on there for now. So next job, that needs to go back on the head without dropping off the cork gasket.
Was that way, was it? That was on this side.
Right,
yeah.
So it's supposed to go one way.
It won't fall off, will it?
Hopefully not, if you're quick.
Oh my god, you can't say that because I've got that. I think.
That's it. And then see about putting your top bits in, your screws, your fastening bolts, and that'll centralise it. That's it. And I'll do this one.
Oh no, the rubber came off.
Now the actual tightening figure for these is only like £3 per foot or something stupid like that. So basically it's only hand tight. And the trick is don't over squish your gasket, just do it enough so it seals.
Like a woman's tight.
Yeah, you can say that, but I can't say that. Right, while the rocker cover's setting slightly, we're going to put the sump plug back in. You need always to replace the copper washer between the sump plug and the sump.
God.
So you probably just want to move that oil container out of the way, otherwise you're going to stick your hands in it and drop that lot in it. So move it out of the way carefully and then clean off round the sump plug itself with a bit of cloth, and then put the new plug in, or refit the plug. Yeah, and just re-screw it back in. Finger tight first, and then we'll nip it up with the big spanner again.
It's finger tight.
That's it. and then it'll be downhill to tighten it.
That way maybe. No, that way. Tight.
Tight. That's probably tight enough.
Yeah, body weight.
Because it's sealing by crushing that copper washer.
Ah.
The actual screwing in doesn't seal it much at all. It's just purely the nipping of that copper washer, and that seals it up against the aluminium of the gearbox.
Are you the blue cup?
It doesn't matter which colour cup I'm mine. I don't care. Right, so that's the rocker cover gasket done. Sump plug back in, oil filter in. We're going to have a brew now. We'll let that sealant cure a little bit around the rocker cover. Then we're going to top it with oil, and then we're going to have a look at the brakes after that. The actual discs themselves look alright, but we'll have a look at the pads and just check everything out. And then there's a shim to alter in the suspension because one side's higher than the other. So that'll be the job after we've had a brew and a bite to eat. Right, next on the list is we're going to put some oil in it. So we're going to put maybe about half a litre or so in the rocker cover there. Make sure it doesn't leak out where we've replaced the gasket. And then providing that's alright, we'll put the rest of the oil in, check it on the dipstick, get it up to level, then we'll fire up the engine. Make sure there's no leaks, especially from the oil filter. And that will be about it for the oil change. Right, we've topped it up with oil, so what we're going to do now is just let that settle and make sure it's got thereabouts the right amount of oil in it. Somewhere halfway between the two marks will do for now. We'll fire it up quickly and make sure there's no leaks, specifically from the oil filter to the filter head, and then we'll let it settle and check the oil level again after that. That'll be the plan.
Oh, that is loose. That's like, look at that.
Yeah, I told you it was loose.
Oh my god.
We found out what caused the damage to the grille on the car. And it's this.
The NHS bloody.
It was on a charity run out she did about a week or so ago. It obviously got caught by the fan, pulled back through the grille, and it's wrapped itself around there. And this is what it did to the grille. You can see there where it's pulled the bit of material back through towards the fan. We did think it perhaps been caused by another car backing into it, but now we've seen that on the fan, we know what it is. Right, I think that's going to be about it for today. The oil side of it is all done and dusted, all no leaks, so that's good. Did a little bit of checking inside the engine bay, tightened up a few bits and pieces. We were going to take the wheels off to check the discs and pads. The discs look fine from what I can see, but the issue is I cannot get the wheel nuts undone. I have nothing that can touch them. They're the weird rub design where they've almost got like a separate cover that goes over the nut. It's hard to explain, but the ones on this side wheel that we had to go at, they're two different sizes anyway, and I can't find any sort of breaker bar or adapter that will enable me to get down to the right size that I need to try and break those off, because they're stupidly tight. We fixed the back brakes, well, the rear brake lights as well. We had to go at those, they were a bit intermittent. It appeared to be the little switch that goes on the pedal box that is activated by when you press the pedal. There's a little plunger that moves. It seemed to be that something in there was a bit iffy, so I give it a wiggle and bent the pins that go through, but it could be that it needs a new switch. It's just going to be a case of it's working now, whether it's going to keep working or not we don't really know. So I've asked Karen just to keep checking it periodically, and we'll see how it goes. If it needs a new little switch on the pedal, then it's going to have to get one. There was a bottom engine steady needed tightening up, it had worked loose. and the manifold nuts took a little bit of a crack as well, tightening. They'd settled. So yeah, it should be good to go, but it's just a bit annoying. We can't adjust the suspension because we need to take a shim out of this side to get the suspension even from one side to the other, but we can't get the wheel off. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. Right, battery went off. So yeah, I was going to say that hopefully it was useful to anybody that's a total newbie on minis, never seen how to change the oil. As I said, very basic for me. Wouldn't really normally document it, but I just thought it might be useful for somebody. And a little bit of fault tracing on the car, trying to find the few erroneous errors that you crop up on a daily driver. It's not like it just sits and never gets used. It gets used as daily. So just keeping on top of the maintenance, and now that the lockdown's pretty much over, it was a chance to bring it across here and do a few jobs on it, make sure it's all good to go for when Karen goes back to work, which hopefully is soon. So that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual palaver. Any comments, Karen?
No, just thank you.
That's it. Bye for now.